This movie tells the story of four friends, Cruz, Cash, Flo, and Pablo, who are involved in internet fraud. They all met each other at university. Here are Cruz, Cash, and Flo attempting to defraud a client online. This is Stephine, Flo's younger sister, whom Flo is always overprotective of when it comes to guys. Despite that, she still secretly dates Flo's friend Cash. Cash and Cruz are trying to scam a client, but were not successful at it, which makes them complain bitterly. They also complain about how their friend Pablo absconded with their share of a deal they all had together, and they promise to deal with him whenever they see him. Cash received a call from his mother. She asked about how his studies in the university were going. He replied to her that it was all going well. Unbeknownst to his mother, he had dropped out of the university. His mother informed him that her house rent had expired and she needed to pay it before they would be evicted. Cash promised his mother that he would send the payment before the month runs out. Cash and his girlfriend, Stephine, Flo's sister, were having a nice time together when Cruz bumped into them and caught them in action. They dispersed in shock, and Stephine left. Cruz reminded his friend Cash of how protective Flo is when his sister is involved with any guy. He made him aware that their friend Flo would be very angry if he found out he was dating his sister, Stephine. The three friends are all facing hardship because they haven't been making money from the internet scam they are involved in. They finally meet with their fourth friend, Pablo, who absconded with their money. They wanted to take revenge on him, but he gave them their share of the money he absconded with instantly. They see that he now has a lot of money in a big car, so they ask him to show them how he makes his money, as they haven't been making money from the internet scam lately. He promised to show them how he's able to make it. He told them to meet him at a location, and he will take them to a ritualist. Cruz went home and informed Cash about what Pablo had said to them earlier about taking them to a ritualist. Cash refused and told Cruz he did not want anything to do with rituals. Meanwhile, Cash has been receiving calls from a loan app he borrowed a huge sum of money from. They threaten to sue him and broadcast his profile if he refuses to pay as soon as possible. He also got a call from his mother about her rent. All these issues are weighing heavily on Cash's shoulders, and he has no means to get the money, as the internet scamming he is into is not paying. This prompted him to go to Cruz and agree to go with them to the ritualist's place for a ritual. Pablo finally took his three friends to the ritualist's place for a ritual. The ritualist performed a ritual on the three of them. Then, he laid out two conditions. They must show gratitude to his shrine with the first money they make, and they must not move out of their current house until after a year. They all agreed to these conditions. Things start to take a turn for all of them as Cruz and Cash get excited about making their first money online with the aid of the ritual they performed. The money starts coming in, and they quickly forget the promise they made to the ritualist. Soon, they begin to lavish the first money they receive at the club on girls and drinks. Flo surprises her sister by taking her to the new apartment he bought for them both to start living in. She gets so happy. Cruz and Cash were not left out as they also change and moved into their new and well-furnished apartment. They violated the two rules the ritualist gave them. One day, while sleeping, Cash had a dream of seeing the ritualist who performed the ritual for them, holding his leg. Cruz rushed into Cash's room to narrate what he saw. They both found out they had the same dream, as did Flo. They all went to their friend Pablo, who took them for the ritual, to narrate what they saw. He reminded them they had violated the rules the ritualist gave them. They all went back to the ritualist's place once again to seek a solution for their violations. The ritualist told them he had warned them not to relocate from their homes until after a year and also not to spend the first money they make. The ritualist provided a solution by giving them a new set of rules, each of which they must abide by forever. If they ever fail to keep the rules, they will die. At this stage, they are already fed up and wish to undo what they had done. The ritualist continued by stating the rules for each of them. He gave them all a red ring and told them to always wear it, or else they would die. The ritualist proceeded to the next set of instructions by telling Cash that he must never sleep with any woman he loves, and if he does, whatever he sees is his problem. He told Cruz that he must sleep with 4 women every single day of his life. He gave Flo a calabash and told him that his manhood would never work throughout his life, and that whenever he wants to sleep, the door must always be open. If he sleeps with the door closed any day, he will die. Flo got upset and replied to the ritualist, "What's the point of having money if I can't enjoy my life and live freely?" They all regretted their actions, blaming each other and wishing they had not performed the rituals. The ritualist also gave Cruz a calabash and told him that he must spray money to people every day and never give to anyone who asks him for money. He also told him he should never sleep in any house he bought or built, and must never sleep in one location for 2 days. The three friends had no choice but to keep up with the set of instructions given to them by the ritualist. They all cried, imagining how hard life would be for them fulfilling those instructions. Stephine, who is Flo's sister, came to Cash's house, but Cash tried to avoid her and make her go away because the instruction the ritualist gave was to never sleep with anyone he loves wholeheartedly. Cash drove out to pick up ladies for his friend Cruz to keep up with his part of the instruction given to them by the ritualist. And here is Flo removing the door of his room so he always sleeps with the door open. They continued living each day, fulfilling the set of instructions given to them. As soon as they continued doing that, they kept getting richer and enjoying their lives. Stephine cried because her boyfriend had been avoiding her without knowing what she had done wrong. She angrily went to her boyfriend Cash's house and tried to force him to get back together. She told him she knows he still loves her and asked what's making him hold back, but he couldn't explain why he was acting that way. Unknowingly to both of them, Stephane's brother had caught them both and was watching them from afar. Cash tried to leave with his car when Stephane rushed in to sit on the passenger side. The passenger side had a calabash under it, which the ritualist told Cash to always put in his car, and whoever sits on it will die. Stephane's brother, knowing this, saw that her sister had sat in Cash's car and came down to fight with Cash. Flo took his sister home and told her they couldn't both be together. She questioned her brother about the reason they couldn't be together, but he never explained. The ritual took effect on Stephane's body and she was rushed to the hospital. Out of annoyance, Flo got into a fight with Cash for bringing his sister into this. Cash went to the ritualist, asking him to save his girlfriend. The ritualist replied that the deed had been done, and one of them had to die, either Stephane, his girlfriend, or him. He then left to visit Stephane at the hospital and confessed everything they had done. After confessing, Stephane woke up, and they both promised to find a solution to undo what had been done. Flo, Stephane's brother, not knowing his sister had awoken, went to the rituals, ready to sacrifice his friend Cash for her sister to be alive. The ritualist gave him a charm to pour on the floor and make sure his friend Cash walked across it. He took the charm and went to Cash's house. He poured the charm at the entrance so that Cash would walk across it whenever he returned. Cash drove back, opened the gate, drove in, and approached the entrance to walk in. While approaching the door, his girlfriend Stephane opened the door from inside to welcome him. Flo saw her, knowing what he had done, rushed to her and pleaded with her sister not to take any step. However, she took a step across the charm and fell down. She was rushed to the hospital but gave in. After the incident, Flo went home, slept in a room, and shut the door on himself against the instruction he was given by the ritualist while sleeping, and died. Cash also felt sad for what happened to his girlfriend and decided to end it all by removing the red ring given to him by the ritualist. Pablo then came in to inform his friend that he had found a way to undo the ritual they all did.